Hey, welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to be making spinach and cheese quesadillas. Let's do this. So to make spinach and cheese quesadillas, it's pretty simple. What you're gonna need is your burritos. This is what I use. This is flour. And you're gonna need some butter, olives, onion, garlic, green onion, your cheese. I use Mennonite cheese, but you can use any cheese you have, and spinach. So let's go. I'm gonna cut all this up. I love me some garlic, but you guys can use less garlic if you want. And this is going to be used to saute the spinach. So I'm gonna cut this up, and we're gonna keep going. So this is how much garlic I like. I love garlic, but you can use less garlic. Now we're going to go and cut the onion and the green pepper. Next, we're gonna take our black olives and we're gonna cut them up. This is how much spinach I'm going to use, about 2 cups. I like to cut the spinach down, but you can choose not to if you don't like. For the next part, we're going to turn our stove on, but we're gonna make sure that it's on low heat, very, very low. And then we're gonna put our pan on there. Now we're gonna take a little bit of butter, this much butter, right? Take this much butter, throw it in there, and let it cool. Once our butter has melted on the stove, we're gonna take everything that we've cut up so far and put it in the pan. We're gonna add 2 handfuls of garlic, and we're gonna add our white onion, about 2 handfuls of that. And then we're also gonna add 1 handful of green onion into the mix. Let it saute with our spinach. Our spinach is going to be about 2.5 handfuls. And the reason I added this much spinach is because the spinach will shrink. So you wanna make sure you're gonna have enough for 2 quesadillas. We're gonna put that all in together and let it sit and saute on low heat. Now what we're going to do is add some garlic and herb seasoning. This is the McCormick brand, but you can use anything you want. I just love a garlic flavor. We're going to add that to the spinach. It's going to really boost its flavor. And then once we're done that, we're also going to add some onion powder to the mix and a little bit of salt for flavor. I like to use this fishmonger seasoning. You can find it at Walmart, anywhere, but you could also use just plain old salt. I just had some razzle dazzle, so of course, I had to throw that in there real quick. Now what you're gonna do is take this much of your cheese. This will be for 2 quesadillas. Grind that up to this type of consistency. And when you're done, you're gonna go back to your stove, make sure it's on low heat because now we're gonna get ready to make the quesadillas. So put your pan back on the stove, add some more butter, and this butter is going to be used to season up the quesadilla bread. It gives it a nice charred flavor and just makes it taste super delicious. So we're gonna let that butter melt slowly on low heat. Do, 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 do. It may take a minute, you have to be patient, but it will get to the right consistency when you start to see the butter melt completely and dissolve into that pan like butter. You see that? Butter. And now we have our quesadillas that we're gonna add. Lightly dip them in the butter. This is gonna be for 2 quesadillas. Lightly dip, lightly dip. And then we're just going to leave 1 quesadilla on, put the other quesadilla to the side, and allow it to just sit and get that toasty bottom. We're gonna add our cheese. Now we're only gonna use half of the cheese mix because we're gonna keep the other half for the other quesadilla we're gonna make, because it's for me and Bae. So thankfully Bae was able to use his hands as I held the camera. I'm still learning how to work this, so bear with me, y'all. We're gonna add our cheese there, let it sit and just adjust and attach to our beautiful quesadilla like so. And when that is done, we're going to add our other condiments. Now what we're going to do is take half of everything we have made so far, and we're gonna put it on the quesadilla. I have already made 1 quesadilla to the side at this point, so this is just to show you guys how to make 1 quesadilla. You will need half of the spinach mix that we have used. I already sauteed that and I put it to the side, and we're going to spread it on the quesadilla. At this point, you don't have to worry about your hands getting burnt up because we are cooking this on very low heat for a reason. I love using low heat to make quesadillas because you are guaranteed not to burn your quesadilla. You will allow the quesadilla to slowly cook to the right temperature, and you won't have to worry about burning your cheese, and you can mix and move your spinach however you feel. I'm kind of super anal. I like to have my spinach spread all the way to the end. As you can see, I had to go in there with my fingers and move it around to my desired crunch because I like it all the way to the end, baby. We are not wasting any spinach. Every bite is going to be delectable. I don't even know if that's a word, but that is a word today. Delectable, delicious, delicioso. And now we're going to add our black olives that we have previously cut up. Remember, we're only using half the mix that we have already cut up because I ate 1 quesadilla without telling y'all. I'm sorry, I got too hungry. And we were trying to record this and we forgot to press record for the first one. So this is our second attempt. We had to finish this for you guys. So you put the olives there, nice and evenly spread out, like so. And then you'll final it up by adding tomatoes. Now, this is half a tomato cut and cubed because like I said, we've already eaten 1 quesadilla. So I'm sorry, y'all, we just had to finish this up. But yes, we're gonna put the tomato in there and every single bite will not be wasted, friends. I do not waste food. There are a lot of pieces to be had, so do not feel bad. Do not feel like a ratchet. You scrape every single thing done. We're in a recession, y'all. Every bite counts. So when you're done that, as you can see, we scraped the whole thing off the pan. Now you can spread it around, make sure you get everything evenly put on, and then you're gonna put your other quesadilla to the top and pat it down with a spatula, knife, whatever you have available. And this will just make sure that it will be easier to flip over in due time. So we're gonna pat it down and get it secure. And as the cheese melts, it will also help it close properly because we're gonna have to flip this around to the other side to make sure that both sides are heated up. So just pat it down, take all the extra fluff from the corners off so it doesn't burn as your quesadilla cooks. And now it's a waiting game. You're just going to wait for the bottom of the other quesadilla on the bottom of the pan to brown. And so my boyfriend's impatient and I told him it wasn't ready. He needed to check for himself to make sure. So we're gonna just let that sit and marinate, I would say for about 2 to 3 minutes, but you just have to stand close and watch it to make sure that it doesn't burn. You'll know when it's ready because the bottom of the pan will be able to move with ease. Right now it is not ready, so we're just gonna sit and we're gonna wait for it to be ready, and then we will continue the process. Okay, so now as you can see, we are starting to get a shake at that bottom, so it is ready to be flipped over, and you know it's starting to look good when it starts browning up real nice. And so now we have to wait for the other side to brown out, but this time it should be a little bit shorter than the first time, about 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes. And you just want to make sure that both sides are looking brown, looking good, and you can flip over as many times as you want. I kind of like to do a 2-side flip on each side just to make sure it's crispy, because I like my quesadillas crispy, cheese and melty, everything crisp and good. There you have it, spinach and cheese quesadillas made by yours truly. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for our next cooking video coming soon. We out.